WINS, WINS-FM in HD1 New York. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
More people get their news from 1010 Wins than from any other radio station in the nation. Swatina Kakar is at the editor's desk, and I'm Bud Mishkin.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM, New York.
Good afternoon, noontime on Christmas Day. We have 41 degrees, a little bit of sunshine right now. I'm Donna Vaughn, and here's what's happening. Well, hopefully Santa brought you a snowblower this year because there's a winter storm watch following today's Christmas festivities in the city. The retiring Cardinal Timothy Dolan celebrating his final Christmas today as head of the Archdiocese of New York. Well, finally, we have a Powerball winner. Someone in Arkansas hit the winning combination last night, and it's $1.8 billion jackpot. Well, 1 week before he heads for the exits, Mayor Adams has vetoed a measure that would have helped victims of gender-based violence to sue their attackers. And we're apparently in the right place for some Christmas Day romance. A new ranking puts New York on top of a list of the most romantic cities on the continent. Well, Christmas Day basketball at the Garden, the Knicks in Cleveland just getting underway. AccuWeather calling for some Christmas Day sunshine and a breezy high of 45. Wins News Time 12:01. Let's get you where you need to go now with Jody Vale.
Well, there are Christmas miracles, and then there's the BQE. Well, they had a good ride there for a little while, but Brooklyn is jamming up. It's a Gowanus stop and go from the Prospect out to the BQE. Inbound BQE now bumper to bumper after the Brooklyn Battery to Tillery Street. Outbound, you're fine. East River crossings, they're moving. And then we have the slowdowns in the Bronx. Westbound Cross Bronx delays kicking in at Webster Avenue, heading to the apartments. Eastbound, you're moving. And here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Hudson River crossings, inbound, George, 5 to 10. Outbound is 15 to 20, upper and lower decks, and minor delays both sides of the Lincoln and Holland tunnels. And here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. This is great news. Eastbound Northern State reopened. Delays have eased out. Crash investigation cleared out Wolf Hill Road. LIE and Southern State, no problems. Snow in the forecast for late tomorrow, so if you're hitting the road, plan ahead. Jody Vale, 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
A winter storm watch that is taking effect for the city late Friday afternoon through midday Saturday. AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire has an update now in this live report.
Certainly we'll enjoy quiet weather for the rest of our Christmas Day, and that's going to last through most of tomorrow as well with good travel conditions. However, it does change tomorrow evening as that snow that you mentioned moves in. The snow will accumulate 3 to 6 inches through tomorrow night with slow and slippery travel. A little sleet can even mix in at times, mostly south of the city. Most of it will be snow, though. Then that snow will end as some flurries or spotty freezing drizzle early on Saturday. Travel conditions slowly improve through the day Saturday, though it does stay cloudy, damp, and cold with highs only near freezing. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather on New York's weather station 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
And this is the sound of a Christmas tradition at St. Patrick's Cathedral, Midnight Mass. And this year, it was the final one to be led by Timothy Cardinal Dolan before his retirement. Dolan's departure will be the end of an era for the New York Archdiocese, which will get its first new spiritual leader in 16 years.
Dolan leaves behind a legacy for many. He's known for his compassion, and he blessed the NYPD officers who were on duty last night. And he also spoke about his meaning of Christmas.
Christmas is all about the birth of a little baby.
Dolan will be succeeded by Bishop Ronald Hicks, who was appointed by Pope Leo. He led Midnight Mass at his own diocese of Joliet, Illinois last night.
Correspondent Lindsay Tuckman. President Trump was at Mar-a-Lago on Christmas Eve observing the holiday by taking calls from children who'd phoned into NORAD to track Santa's round-the-world flight. Here's what he said to Amelia, an 8-year-old from Kansas.
What would you like Santa to bring?
Not cold.
Not cold. No, you don't want cold. Well, cold is, you mean clean, beautiful cold. I had to do that, I'm sorry.
And he told a 10-year-old from Oklahoma that the U.S. tracks Santa on NORAD to make sure he's a good Santa that isn't, quote, infiltrating into our country. The president later posting another one of what's become his trademark holiday messages, attacking Democrats and, quote, the radical left scum that's doing everything possible to destroy our country. A world away, meanwhile, from New York, thousands of Palestinians celebrating midnight mass at the Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem, the city where Christians believe Jesus was born.
Even during the past 2 years of the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza, the traditional midnight mass was held. But this year, the city is again decorated, and the large Christmas tree stands in the center of the square. Father Isa Telgia is a Greek Orthodox priest.
It means resistance. It means that we are still in Bethlehem and still in Palestine as Christians and Muslims who are living in Bethlehem.
Palestinians here say they continue to pray for peace.
Correspondent Linda Gradstein. Christmas greetings at the Vatican today from the first ever American Pope.
Merry Christmas. May the peace of Christ reign in your hearts and in your families.
And Pope Leo sharing that greeting not only in English, but in 7 different languages as he led a Christmas Day service at St. Peter's Basilica. In his Christmas Eve sermon, the pontiff reminded followers that the birth of Jesus in a stable because there was no room at the inn should remind Christians that refusing to help the poor and strangers today is tantamount to rejecting God himself. And the best Christmas gift ever for a lucky Powerball player, last night's Christmas Eve drawing finally had a winner, one who's about to become very, very rich.
A single ticket sold in Arkansas matched all 6 numbers in the Christmas Eve Powerball drawing, winning somebody a $1.8 billion top prize. It's the second largest U.S. lottery jackpot ever won. The winner can take the money in a 30-year annuity or in a one-time lump sum of $835 million, both before taxes, of course.
Of course, that was correspondent Jim Ryan. Now here in New York State, 2 ticket holders won $1 million runner-up prizes, which no one's going to complain about either. Well, if you'd like to become a lucky lottery winner yourself, maybe you could improve your odds by picking up your tickets in one particular neighborhood in Queens. A study by Casino.org analyzed cities, states, and even stores that have sold the most winning lottery tickets during the holiday season. And Fresh Meadows came in at 3rd on the list. The Nora Parsons Service Center on Parsons Boulevard was ranked the 3rd luckiest store in the entire country. And New York is the 3rd luckiest state. Well, as 2025 winds down, gun violence in the city continues to its steep drop. The latest numbers revealed yesterday by Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch show 1,000 fewer shootings last year than in 2021 and 235 fewer than last year. Murders have dropped 22% so far this year compared to 2024. That said, the NYPD's work is not done. Some crime categories have seen an increase this year, the police commissioner says. Well, Mayor Adams has issued one of the last vetoes of his single term in office. The bill would allow the victims of gender-based violence to sue their attackers, even if the statute of limitations has come and gone. The mayor says he vetoed the measure because of concerns about the financial motivations of a law firm that's been representing some victims. The city council now has 30 days to attempt to override that veto. It would need at least 3/4 approval to pass, which may not be a stretch, considering it passed unanimously the first time around. Well, almost a week has gone by since the deadline for the Justice Department to release the Epstein files. After missing that deadline, the DOJ now says it may need a few more weeks to release all of it. The department reports more than 1 million newly discovered documents and says they need to review it all before they can put it out there.
Outrage growing over this new discovery. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer posting a Christmas Eve news dump of 1 million more files only proves what we already know. Trump is engaged in a massive cover-up. The Justice Department says they need more time to redact the files to protect victims, but vowing that everything will be released in compliance with the law.
And that was correspondent Selena Wong. But just ahead here on 1010 Wins, New Yorkers in the mood for love. A new ranking says the locale is perfect. But first, Wins News Time 12:11. Let's get you where you need to go now with Jody Vale.
Bumper to bumper in Brooklyn, Gowanus broken down vehicle blocking that right lane and not spreading any holiday joy. Outbound at the Prospect, delays are building up behind it after the canal. And inbound BQE, that's also pretty slow after the Brooklyn Battery heading to Tillery Street. Outbound is fine. East River crossings, they're moving. And the slowdowns in the Bronx continue. Westbound Cross Bronx, delays are kicking in at Webster Avenue, building up, heading to the apartments. Eastbound is moving. We got the Deegan ramps jamming up both ways at the Cross Bronx. East side of Manhattan, northbound Harlem River Drive. That's all jammed up. And that's from the East 150s up to the GWB. West side, it's a little better approach. And here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels, Hudson River crossings. Inbound George, it's 5 to 10 and 15 to 20 on the outbound side now. That's both decks, by the way. Lincoln and Holland, minor delays both sides. And here's what we see on Long Island's Big 3. Eastbound Northern State reopened. Crash investigation cleared. Wolf Hill Road, LIE, Southern State, no problems. Jody Vale, 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
And now a check of the the AccuWeather forecast. Time for meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Looking pretty good across the area right now. We're going to be back and forth between clouds and sun this afternoon, and it's going to be a bit breezy as well. We'll top out at 45 degrees, though, so not too cold. Tonight, it does get colder. Partly cloudy and breezy with a low of 23 in the city, teens in some suburbs. Enough wind that AccuWeather real field temperatures will get down to close to 10 degrees late at night. Any early sun quickly gives way to clouds then tomorrow ahead of this storm that's coming in. It'll be brisk with a high of only 29. Then snow begins tomorrow evening and will accumulate 3 to 6 inches overnight, even if it mixes with a little sleet, mostly south of the city. We'll have slow and slippery travel. That'll give way to flurries and spotty freezing drizzle with improving conditions during the day Saturday, even though the high is just 33. We'll start with sun on Sunday again. Clouds and even some late day rain coming back with a high of 37. Still rainy into Monday. Partly sunny and 44 right now in Central Park, going up to 45. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
Well, for those of us who are in the mood for love on this Christmas Day, not only my girl, New York can make you feel this way. A new global ranking names New York City the most romantic city in all of North America. That study by hotelwithtub.com gives the city high marks for its skyline views, rooftop dining, park strolls, and more, all perfect to put you in the mood for romance, they say. New York also ranks 5th on a worldwide version of that most romantic list, beaten only by Paris, Marrakesh, London, and at the very top, Rome, in very romantic Italy, of course. Well, a surprise for holiday travelers at Nashville International Airport earlier this week. And that is Grammy winner Darius Rucker, caught on video as he took the mic at an airport restaurant on Monday and treated everyone in the terminal to a spontaneous performance. The former Hootie and the Blowfish frontman turned country music star is well known in Nashville at this point. He's a member of the Grand Ole Opry and has a star on the Music City Walk of Fame. Well, across the country, Americans sharing their good fortune for Christmas, and there are many heartwarming stories to share.
The organization I Am a Gentleman organized the giveaway in Bronzeville, just south of Chicago. Executive Director Jermaine Anderson.
Every kid deserves a special toy on Christmas morning. Every kid deserves to receive Christmas magic.
Christine McDonald needed the help.
It's a big blessing. It brings joy to your heart. Kids are happy, and they appreciate anything they get.
This is the 11th year I Am a Gentleman has made sure every child has something to look forward to.
Correspondent Christopher Cruz. So what better way to enjoy some holiday magic than to visit a reindeer farm? And in case you didn't know that was a thing, we can assure you it actually is. 1010 Winds spoke with Mike Schertl, co-owner of the Shortsville Reindeer Farm near upstate Rochester.
We don't have Santa's reindeer. We have his second string reindeer, just in case Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donder, Blitzen, or Rudolph gets sick or injured. He can borrow one of our reindeer.
Santa has a second string. Who knew? Schertl says they had over 200 visitors on Christmas Eve yesterday.
We bring the people out, invite the people out to our farm. You can just see all the smiles and the laughters and the giggles of not just the kids, but the parents. And it's very obvious the reindeer are very magical creatures.
And very gentle and social as well. He says visitors to the Shortsville Reindeer Farm get to see them up close and take photos. They also host private group visits and offer reindeer for hire, not only for Santa. Well, no one had a better view of Santa on his yearly gift delivery trip last night than the crew aboard the International Space Station.
Space Station Commander Mike Fink says they may not be with their families on Earth.
We're with our space family, so we're okay.
Astronaut Chris Williams says they've decorated the station for Christmas.
We've got a little tree, and we've also hung some boots by the airlock with cheer.
And Zena Cardman says while it's hard being away from home,
it's incredibly special to be up here. I think we may be orbiting a little higher than Santa is flying, though.
Again, Commander Mike Fink.
Merry Christmas and a happy, happy New Year.
And that is correspondent Peter King. Well, Israel may be considering military action against Iran again to keep the Iranians from rebuilding their arsenal of ballistic missiles. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said yesterday that his nation is watching Iran as well as Hamas and Hezbollah and will move to prevent any new threats. The surprise Israeli attack 6 months ago targeted key nuclear sites in Iran, though its target this time would apparently be conventional weapons. Experts say that would mark a significant shifting of the goalposts for Israel Israel and its national security concerns. It's not clear if the Trump administration would be willing to assist Israel this time around. President Trump said repeatedly after the attacks back in June that Iran's nuclear program had been wiped out.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. 41 degrees at 12:20 on this Christmas Day. I'm Donna Vaughn, and here's what's happening. Gifts today, snow tomorrow. New Yorkers bracing for a post-holiday storm. A live update from AccuWeather on the way. His last Christmas as the spiritual leader of the city's Catholic community, the retiring Cardinal Dolan celebrating Mass at St. Patrick's Cathedral. While we wait for a snowstorm here in New York, bad weather in Texas may have an effect on some already expensive food prices. The Islanders-Rangers game at UBS Arena on Saturday will feature an extra special rendition of the national anthem by a 104-year-old veteran of World War II. And in 1010 Wins Entertainment, another emotional message from Justin Bieber on Christmas Eve has raised concerns about his social media followers. A game for the Knicks this afternoon. They're hosting the Cavs at the Garden. AccuWeather says high 45 and breezy today, some sun as well as we celebrate Christmas. Wins News Time 12:21. Let's get you where you need to go now with Jody Vale.
Slow go in Brooklyn. It's the Gowanus, a broken down vehicle blocking that right lane, causing a lot of chaos right now. Outbound at Prospect, delays are building up behind it after the canal. And then inbound on the BQE, it's also bumper to bumper after the Brooklyn Battery out to Tillery Street. Outbound, you're fine. And the East River crossings, they're moving. Got the slowdowns, though, in the Bronx. And yep, it's the westbound cross Bronx. Delays kicking in. Webster Avenue heading to the apartments. Eastbound, you're moving, though. Deacon ramps are jamming up both ways at the Cross Bronx, and the east side of Manhattan is also jammed up. Northbound Harlem River Drive, they're kicking in from the East 150s up to the GWB. West side, definitely a better approach if you can. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels, Hudson River crossings. It's still 5 to 10 inbound at the George. Outbound's 15 to 20. That's both decks. Lincoln and Holland, minor delays both sides. And snow in the forecast for late tomorrow. So if you're hitting the roadways, plan ahead. Merry Christmas. Jody Vale, 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
Some 2,400 worshipers packing into the iconic House of Worship on Fifth Avenue last night to hear their faith leader in person. Many calling the Cardinal a wonderful shepherd of a huge flock here in the city. Cardinal Dolan has headed the Archdiocese of New York since 2009, but turned in his resignation earlier this year when he turned 75, the Vatican's mandatory retirement age. Pope Leo just recently accepted Dolan's resignation and named as his successor the Bishop Ronald Hicks, a little-known cleric who's led the Diocese of Joliet, Illinois. For the past 5 years, he will be installed this coming February. Well, a call for unity on this Christmas Day in Australia. A nation still in mourning after a mass shooting that left 15 dead at a Hanukkah festival.
I'd like to give a big shout out to our Jewish community. It's been a horror fortnight for that community, and everybody in Australia needs to wrap their arms around them to lift them up during a difficult period.
That is New South Wales State Leader Chris Minns among the officials who attended a Christmas Day lunch in Sydney, honoring the civilians and first responders who confronted the two gunmen on Bondi Beach and helped the victims. The event was hosted by Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, who said his nation has witnessed, quote, both the depths of evil and the best of humanity in response. Mass shootings are rare in Australia, which has fairly strict gun laws. A number of lawmakers have been calling for gun restrictions to be tightened even more following the massacre on Bondi Beach. Well, now that Santa has come and gone, is it too soon to start talking about returns? Even the jolly old elf doesn't always get it quite right, but know before you go, because this gift-giving season, some retailers have changed their return policies. In fact, the National Retail Federation now says that nearly 3/4 of all stores now charge some sort of return fee, which is money customers won't get back when ordering a package online and returning it by mail. Brands that charge return or restocking fees include $11.99 at Marshalls and TJ Maxx, $9.99 at Macy's, $8 at JCPenney, and $7.50 at J. Crew. And now Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins.
That glittery gold necklace may soon be worth even more because gold could be the gift that keeps giving into next year.
The two drivers
of the 25 rally, we think will be repeated in 26.
Dan Stuyven, commodities expert at Goldman Sachs, says after new record highs, gold could jump toward $5,000 a troy ounce because...
Number one, structurally higher central bank purchases, and second, Fed cuts.
Purchases by exchange-traded funds and political uncertainty in the U.S. could also help.
Scenarios where markets may perform less well, perhaps concerns about the fiscal trajectory or questions about Fed independence, I think gold would do even better than in the already attractive base case.
But buyer beware, rising prices are also attracting
the speculator.
Axel Merck is president and CIO at Merck Investments.
For several years, the speculator was busy with meme coins, digital tokens. They have come back, and the key contribution they make is that to add volatility.
I'm Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
Wins News Time 12:30.
Good afternoon. I'm Bud Mishkin. As we get ready for a winter storm, California is dealing with flooding. Another part of the country is dealing with drought in Texas. And that may have an effect down the road on some food prices.
Around 30% of the Lone Star State currently lies under some level of drought. In the Panhandle,
we count on winter moisture and snowfall to have a good spring grass.
Charlie Bazzona grows the hay that feeds the region's cattle herds.
80-degree days and no moisture in sight's really not setting us up for a good spring.
Forcing some ranchers to sell their cattle and adding to expectations of rising beef prices well into 2026. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
Wins News Time, 12:31. Let's get you where you need to go with Andre Farrow.
Let's start in Queens, southbound Cross Island parking lot. Here we go already, heading down towards Northern Boulevard, bumper to bumper. I would go with the clear view if you're using the Throgs Neck, and you'll do a little bit better. Matter of fact, a lot better if you're traveling on the eastbound side of the BQE in Brooklyn, heading up towards Atlantic Avenue from the Prospect. That is slow. Westbound, you're busy passing the Brooklyn Bridge on the BQE over by Flushing Avenue. Some scattered delays on the westbound side of the belt as you pass Stillwell, heading towards the Verrazano. Verrazano Brooklyn bound has some volume. Staten Island bound seems to be okay. If you're traveling in the Bronx, westbound delays in the Cross Bronx from the Bronx River Parkway to the Alex. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Inbound George Washington Bridge, around 10 minutes. The northbound side of the Harlem River Drive is slow from the McCombs Dam Bridge up to the Cross Bronx. Lincoln Tunnel Center Tube looks like it's obsolete, so it's going to be the North Tube and South Tube. You're dealing with about a 10-minute delay inbound. Holland Tunnel seems to be in good shape. Andre Farrow, 10-10 Wins on 92.3 FM.
The Rangers are playing the Islanders at UBS Arena Saturday, but perhaps the most compelling story will be before the game. Dominic Critelli will be performing the national anthem. He's 104. He's a World War II vet, playing the anthem on his saxophone. He started on the clarinet some 90 years ago, inspired by a musical uncle. He's pretty excited about Saturday because he is a big Islanders fan. If you like watching sports on TV, today is like a sports smorgasbord, so to speak. 5 NBA games on TV, one right after the other, starting with the Knicks and the Cavaliers. They're already underway at the Garden. The NFL has its share of games, too. Cowboys and Commanders at 1, Lions and Vikings at 4:30, and the Broncos and the Chiefs at 8:15. A couch potato's dream today. For us hockey fans, the NHL is still on a Christmas break. The royal family gathering at King Charles' estate for a Christmas tradition that goes back decades, the royal walk to church. But not everybody was present.
Notably absent, former Prince Andrew, now known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, stripped of his title and home by his brother, the king, because of the accusations against him of sexual assault and his long-standing friendship with the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Andrew has denied any wrongdoing, but he and his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson are off the Christmas guest list this year.
It's correspondent Lama Hassan. In the Middle East, a treat for history buffs.
The Grand Egyptian Museum near Cairo has begun reassembling a boat belonging to Pharaoh Khufu in its exhibition hall.
Grant him passage to give it to her himself.
The cedarwood vessel, one of 2 found with the king, started coming together this week as visitors watched. The project is expected to take approximately 4 years. King Khufu ruled over 4,500 years ago and built the Great Pyramid of Giza.
It's correspondent Jennifer Kuiper. Hawaii sounds nice about this time of year, or any time of year, actually. But if you're taking a cruise in Hawaii...
Hawaii's first-in-the-nation climate change tax takes effect at the start of the new year. It includes an 11% tax on cruise ship passenger fares. Cruise Lines International Association, along with some local businesses, sued to block the cruise tax, saying it violates the Constitution and would hurt tourism. But a federal judge in Honolulu denied the request to block it from taking effect. The plaintiffs say they'll appeal.
It's correspondent Brian Clark. From the cultural gem that is Chinatown to the bohemian atmosphere of Greenwich Village, we are New York's all-news station.
The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. It's 44 degrees at 1240. I'm Bud Mishkin. Here's what's happening. Snowstorm is on the way tomorrow night and Saturday morning. I'll have AccuWeather in a minute. Christmas is being celebrated here and around the world. NYPD stats show that 1,000 fewer people were shot this year than in 2021. The numbers align with pre-COVID stats. Israel is warning that it might strike Iran again if Iran tries to build up its nuclear capacity. And the residents of a small city north of Boston are upset over the smell in town. That smell? Donuts. Why did it have to be donuts? Seriously. Sports. The Knicks are playing the Cavs at the Garden right now. There are a ton of NBA and NFL games on TV all day and all night. Wins News Time, 1241. Let's get you where you need to go with Andre Farrow.
And we have trouble on the Garden State Parkway in New Jersey. It's a southbound crash, exit 102. The left lane is blocked. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Inbound George Washington Bridge, around 15 minutes. Seems to be increasing. And the outbound side is going to be around 25 with delays that go back to the Sheridan on the westbound Cross Bronx. The northbound Harlem River Drive is slow. North of the McCombs Dam Bridge, heading up towards the Cross Bronx. Lincoln Tunnel's around 10 minutes round trip and about 5 minutes round trip at the Holland. If you're traveling in Brooklyn, eastbound BQE, heading towards Atlantic Avenue, bumper to bumper coming up from the Prospect. And the south and northbound Cross Island is slow between Northern Boulevard and the Throgs Neck, so you want to go with the clear view. You get a clear view of the traffic on the Cross Island from the clear view. Now, if you're traveling on Long Island, here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. A very good ride, actually, on the Northern, Southern, and LIE. There was a bad crash on the eastbound Northern State Parkway by exit 41 this morning. Let's keep that to a minimum. I'm hoping everybody was okay. Andre Farrow, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Beautiful sounds of Midnight Mass at St. Patrick's Cathedral. It was the final Midnight Mass for Cardinal Dolan as Archbishop.
We let the baby in. We let the transformation begin. We need a little Christmas right this very moment. We need a little short sermon right this very moment.
Cardinal Dolan turned 75, and the Catholic Church requires its leaders to resign. Illinois Bishop Ron Hicks will become Archbishop of New York. The president spent part of Christmas Eve talking to kids about Christmas lists. He also touted, in his words, clean, beautiful coal in his Christmas Eve calls. One 10-year-old asked about Santa.
Well, we track Santa all over the world. We want to make sure that Santa is being good. Santa's a very good person. We want to make sure that he's not infiltrated, that we're not infiltrating into our country a bad Santa.
At the Vatican...
Feliz Navidad. Que la paz de Cristo reine en sus corazones y en sus familias.
Pope Leo led a Christmas Day service at St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican, speaking in several languages, including English and Spanish.
The pontiff also calling for the tenuous truce agreement in the Middle East to move forward, where Christmas is slowly returning. In the occupied West Bank, for the first time since the war in Gaza broke out 2 years ago, the lighting of Bethlehem's traditional Christmas tree in Manger Square. Tens of thousands of Christian pilgrims flocking to the holy city, with music, light, and hope celebrated.
It's correspondent Lama Hassan. Pope Leo also pleading for peace around the world, expressing his great sadness that Russia has rejected a request for a Christmas ceasefire agreement with Ukraine. From the Vatican to Baltimore.
Some 200 families in the Baltimore area will have a better Christmas thanks to discounted gifts from a program called The Christmas Store. It's in its 10th year and is hosted by the University of Maryland, the City of Baltimore, and the Foundry Church.
There's a lot of parents that want to be involved in this. They just don't have the money to be able to do it themselves. So how do we create a store where parents get to have the joy and the dignity of saying, I bought this and I picked it out myself.
Lindsay Ferguson is outreach pastor for the church. Toys are donated throughout the year, along with financial donations, and then deeply discounted for Baltimore communities for Christmas.
Correspondent Jim Crisula. One tradition, a Christmas period tradition, at the nation's capital at the Kennedy Center came to an end last night.
The show's host, musician Chuck Red, who has been presiding over the Kennedy Center's holiday jazz jam since 2006, says he called off the performance after the White House announced that President Donald Trump